Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Eli, and today we're going to be doing a quick install video on our Lab E36 and E46 style hood vents on our 318 Ti drift car. These can be put on your daily drift or track car and will help with heat extraction or add some style to your car. These hood vents will require you to cut holes into your hood, so make sure you either take the hood off the car or you have some kind of protection underneath the hood to prevent any metal shavings from landing in the engine bay or possibly getting stuck in places causing corrosion. So with that, let's get started. Okay, so one of the first things you want to do is, if you still have the insulation under your hood, you're going to want to go ahead and completely remove the insulation on your hood. It's going to be rendered completely useless at this point. Once we install these hood vents, you're going to not be able to reinstall it. All right, to start off, first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out our templates. You got the 4 provided for the 4 hood vents. You're going to cut along the outside line. Okay, once you cut out your templates, you're going to want to place them on the hood. Ideally, from this body line on the hood, you're going to want to be about 11 inches from the front of the hood to the very corner point of the outermost hood vent. Now, for placing the inner vent, what you want to do is grab a straight edge, place it parallel to the leading edge of the outer vent, and that'll give you your point for the inner hood vent along the inner body line of the rise here. A neat trick that I've learned over time is that with green painter's tape, it's actually somewhat see-through. So with the green painter's tape, as you can see, the markings for where you need to hit are actually still visible through the tape. So what I'd recommend is placing green tape along the entire edge of this, which will help when cutting the hood and also when drilling the holes as well, from preventing the template from getting damaged. On top of that, I also recommend to not double up. If you double stack the tape, it'll obscure the markings too much, so they won't be usable. So this is a neat trick to help the installation process. Make sure your lines on the inner of both hood vents line up with the body line on the hood coming down, that they're parallel right next to it. It does open up somewhat slightly on E36 hoods, but for the most part, this is a sedan hood actually, and on the coupe hood, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to want 11 inches from the leading edge of the hood to the leading edge of the outer vent on the very corner here. So once you finalize the location of your hood vents, next step is going to be center punch all your holes. Highly recommend it, so that way your bit does not walk when drilling your holes. Drill bit you're going to want to use is a 3/16. The templates do have the recommended drill bit size, and also make sure to point out that when you actually go to cut the hole in your hood for the hood vents, you're going to use that inner line on the hood vent as well. Now that you've drilled out all the holes for your hood vent, now you can go ahead and cut out the actual big hole for the vent itself for it to breathe. You can use either an electric cutting wheel like this or an air one like this one that I have here. Just for a piece of advice here, a smaller diameter cutting wheel will make it easier for making these turns right here. A big old cutting wheel like this, which is a 3-inch cutting wheel or 3.5-inch cutting wheel, will make it a bit more difficult for making those turns. So with that, let's start. So as you see here, we have some of the core support showing. We're gonna have to cut this out. On the E36 coupe hoods, you will not be hitting the core support at all, but on the sedan hoods, you will. E46 hoods, pre-facelift, you won't be hitting any of the core supports either. It's only on the sedan E36 hoods that you're gonna have to slightly cut out a piece of the core support. Not too much though. As you can see, after we cut it, some of the edges are gonna be probably pretty rough. So what I'd highly recommend you do is grab a file, a nice good size file, and go ahead and file down all the burrs and off the edges. Like, look at this, that's metal. So highly recommend getting a file, cleaning up all the edges of the hole you cut out, and also getting a deburr tool and deburring all the holes that you've drilled as well. All right, now that you got your holes done, all the holes drilled, everything deburred, you're gonna have exposed metal on the edges. Now, what I highly recommend is putting a piece of tape outlining the entire cutout. Tape it out, tape it all off, and treating this bare steel. This will corrode. I recommend painting them, doing a little bit of primer and paint or some kind of sealant to prevent corrosion on the hood. But before you do that, highly recommend you test fit. Our hood vents do come with self-clenching studs already installed and powder coated over, so you don't see anything on the top side. It's a nice clean finish. So this is M4 hardware. Basically what you want to do is just test fit the hood vent into the hood to make sure that it lines up with all your holes before you go painting anything. And basically you're just looking for a rough fit. The hood does have a curvature to it, so you could slightly tweak the whole vent. It is 5051 aluminum. It's a malleable aluminum meant to be bent. So just like that. For the most part, it fits. If for whatever reason it doesn't want to line up, or one or a few studs don't want to cleanly go in, I would recommend oversizing the holes slightly. What you would want to do is oversize all the holes evenly, so that way it'll evenly go down. All the holes are the same size, and it'll give you a little bit more wiggle room to install, just in case you decided to not center punch your holes and cowboy it. But for the most part, once you got all your hood vents test fitted and aligned, like so, that one dropped in super easy, then you're good. So you could pop them back out and treat the metal before you install the hood vents. All right, now that we did all that, taping off the hood, get ready for a little bit of spray paint. Do some corrosion protection. All right, now that's the next step after treating all the exposed metal, after doing your painting or sealing or whatnot. Now it's time to finally install the hood vents. Now that we have our hood vent in place, we're gonna use our M4 nylon lock nuts to secure the hood vent. You are going to need a 7mm socket for these. Just for reference, once you got all your nuts in, all threaded on, these only need to be hand tight. These are not going to require any kind of crazy torque. They're just to hold the vents in place. So just hand tight is all you really need. All right, once you're done with that, go ahead and rinse and repeat on the other side as well. All right, now with all the hardware tightened down, the job is complete. Vents look fantastic on the hood. We're gonna get perfect form and function at the same time with these. If you guys are interested in buying some of these, our link is gonna be in the description below. So come check it out. We have also some other E36 products there that will work out for you as well. If you guys want to see more instructional videos for product installs, we do have a few others. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button, check out our website, and thanks for watching.